Have you ever wondered how people can go through life with a sense of intense focus, where they wake up in the morning with clarity as to what they're supposed to do, what they're going to do, with clarity as to who they are, and clarity as to their purpose while they are here in this physical realm? Well, there are different things and different mechanisms and techniques that you must understand and practice in order for you to essentially be the kind of person who is dialed in and focused in on what it is you are custom built to do while you're here in this physical plane of existence. Now, it's important though to recognize that focus isn't something that somebody is just simply gift with the ability to have and do, right? It's a tool, it's a skill that we cultivate over time. Many of us have cultivated it as we were being brung up as children, right? Because we've seen it with our parents, maybe we've seen it with, role models and people we look up to. And we identified, okay, this is something that must be cultivated in order for me to be successful. Maybe you're lucky and you're one of those people. Or maybe you simply only are able to master and tap into that focus when it relates to something that you're passionate about, right? Something that you're good at, even. Well, it's important to understand that, yes, it is easier to be focused, to be dialed into something that you enjoy. And life should, in fact, be you experiencing only things that you enjoy. And if you're not doing it in a space of enjoyment, at least you know at the end, right? The result, the manifestation, the materialization of that which you've been doing on a consistent basis culminates in the accomplishment, right? Of something that you find vastly enjoyable. So, though you may, yes, want to experience life ongoing from a place of enjoyment, and dialing in to your ability to be focused in on what it is, a lot of times we have to go through a transitional period where we have to be focused on the thing that we don't want to do in order for us to create the results that we want. And then over time, as you begin to master manifestation and materialization and what it takes for you to dial into your creative power, then you get used to or accustomed to tapping into this focus, right? And doing things, recognizing that it's not, the thing itself is not separate from the result that you seek. And so when you understand and identify that the action is the result, then you begin to change how you see focus. You begin to change how you direct yourself and how you approach this thing that you have to do in order for you to get the thing that you desire. You see, so making sure that you have this solution-based focus, right, is very important, right? Because of course, when we're talking about focus, we're only talking about the solution-based, mindset, being focused in on what it is that you want, because what it is that you want takes you away from what you may be currently experiencing, which is what you don't want, right? Because now you're recognizing, wait a minute, something is not hitting right. Something is not connecting right. It's not aligning with who you know yourself to be. And so you have identified that this is a problem. But in order for you to step away from the problem, you have to deal with the solution, but focus on how you can create the solution, which ultimately is the desire of the thing that you want, right? Which is the opposite or the other spectrum of what you don't want, what is identified as the problem. So your job is to maintain the solution or focus or desired based focus. What do you want? When you focus on what you want and you are consistent with that focus, right? And what it takes to create what you want, then essentially you begin to cultivate this way of focus that doesn't entail or encompass feeling like you're being tortured, right? Feeling like I have to get up in the morning, I have to go running, I have to eat this particular diet or be conscious about what it is that I'm eating. I have to, go to this therapist to work on these emotional triggers or relationship issues or intimacy issues, right? When you recognize that, hey, this is a part of the thing that I desire, then there is no separation of, well, I have to do this thing that I don't want to do in order to get what I want. You recognize what you need to do is essentially what you want, right? What you want to materialize. So we're going to get into some techniques and some things that's going to help you to cultivate this mindset of focus, right? Being solution based and solution focused and desire focused. So that way, the transition or the connection between doing something and materializing something is identified as one and the same, right? It's a cause and effect. One cannot happen without the other. So essentially, they are one, right? So the first thing you want to get into is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the key to so many things, just like self awareness is. Mindfulness allows you to continue to observe your thoughts, observe maybe even your emotions, right? Take into account that you are not your thoughts and emotions. You are simply experiencing them, expressing them. They are not who you are. You are having them, but you are not them. Okay. You are having the thought, but you are not the thought. You are having the emotions, but you are not the emotions. So once you recognize that, even in terms of language, then you start to contemplate, meditate on that concept, even meditate in general, then you begin to understand the separation, because a lot of times people cannot understand the separation. They can't comprehend what exactly it means to be the observer, to witness your thoughts, to witness your emotions, right? But it is your consciousness that is having the experience. And when you practice things like meditation and mindfulness, it allows you to create a space between yourself, your consciousness, and that which you are thinking, that which you are feeling. Okay. Then you understand, oh, I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. So when you understand that, then you can productively actually control and change the narrative. You can change your thoughts. You can change your emotions because you are not those things. They are just simply byproducts, right? They are simply expressions of triggers or even symptoms. But when you recognize that you are not them, then it gives you a space to look at them from a more objective point of view and then control the direction by which those thoughts and emotions go. So mindfulness is very important because mindfulness is simply the act of constantly checking in with yourself, asking yourself, what are you thinking about, right? What are you feeling? And just observing those thoughts. It's difficult to do when you're out and about living life, and it is more practical, simpler to do it when you're in transition from one thing to another. So when you're driving in your car and you finally park, take 5 minutes. It doesn't even have to be 5 minutes. Take a minute to just simply say, okay, what am I thinking about? Right? Ask yourself, what are you thinking about? What are you feeling? Take moments where you can take a second, right, to actually come in, check in with yourself and ask yourself, okay, what am I thinking about? What am I feeling? Then ask yourself, do you wish to be thinking about that? Right? Is it productive for you to think about that? Because whatever you think about is going to grow. Whatever you think about is going to become a powerful essence in your life. Right? So the more you think about a thing, the more prominent it will be in your life. So you have to really take ownership of your thoughts. And that's what focus is about. Focus is about taking ownership of your thoughts, not focusing on the fact that you don't have this, not focusing on the fact that, oh, this is uncomfortable, right? This I don't like, but rather focusing on that which you desire, right? This is what I can do today. This is what I desire. This makes me feel good. This is what I want to continue to feel. So when you focus on your desires, guess what? You are given and you're recharging yourself. You're charging your emotions up. You're charging your body up with positive vibrations and frequencies that allow you to be more productive, to actually take action toward the thing that you desire, or at least make you feel good at that moment. So you have to be mindful in order for you to understand how focus will impact your life, even in the slightest way. So be mindful. Another thing is being grateful, practicing gratitude. So mindfulness is about a matter of analyzing, observing your thoughts and your feelings, right? Even being mindful of the situations you're in. But when you are now taking that in terms of practicing gratitude, you are being mindful about the blessings, the things that you have, right? The things that you have access to, right? The people in your circle, the people that you can contact, right? The skills that you do have, the ability to even gain more skills, right? You're looking at things from a perspective of opportunity. And so recognize that you are grateful for those opportunities. You're grateful for the things that you have. That way you can optimize, utilize those things toward you materializing and focusing on creating that which you desire. So with mindfulness and gratitude, they go hand in hand because remember, your thoughts are important, but your emotions are also important because your emotions fuel your actions. You see, so being mindful is about being in control of your thoughts. Then you take that and carry it with gratitude, right? Whatever thoughts you know you need to have, you carry that over with a sense of gratitude, which then charges your emotions in a positive way to be proactive, to move forward in getting things done. You see, gratitude is very important because gratitude is the most sustainable experience, the most sustainable emotion that will continue to compound because as you move forward, you will continue to create more and more and more. Remember, you're thinking about something that you desire that makes it likely to be created, to have. Then, when you are taking action, you are getting closer and closer to that thing. You're materializing each thing. You are getting better at materializing each thing. So now you are grateful for being able to materialize each thing. You are grateful for the materialization of each thing. And therefore, it continues to compound. This is why when people begin to tap into their success, it just jumps to a whole nother level. And it seems like people are overnight successes. Meanwhile, they've been working for a long period of time, and then something clicks. And then when that click happens, then everything else is exponential, right? Everything else is huge as far as their growth. They seem to go from 100 to 1 million really fast, right? So you want to be mindful about that and you want to continue to think about how to approach being mindful about your thoughts, being grateful about what you have, right? And then affirming it to yourself. Practicing affirmations is important. We talk about affirmations, but affirmations, not just in terms of speech, but in terms of affirming it to yourself with your mentality, right? You have a gift here because you have a desire or something that you wish, you want, right? You desire it. Now, you have to acknowledge that that desire doesn't just come from nowhere. It comes from that inner wisdom within yourself, that divinity within yourself. It is a gift to you to recognize this is what's meant for you, right? And even if it's not meant for you as a grand scheme of purpose, it is still meant for you as a part of the journey, which will get you to the grand scheme of your purpose. And so when you acknowledge and see, okay, this is my journey, you walk into it affirming, right? With confirmation, with conviction, with confidence that this is where you're supposed to be. Okay. Because you're definitely not where you're not supposed to be. You are exactly right now, right this moment where you're supposed to be. The question is though, are you being mindful? Are you being conscious about it? Okay. When you're being mindful and conscious about it, then the journey becomes simple. The journey becomes enjoyable, right? And the process of materializing what you want throughout life and what you want of life happens a lot quicker. And the process of it happening is way more pleasurable and fulfilling. So you have to recognize this. and understand that there's a ripple effect when you have your solutions and you're focused on thinking in a way that affects your well-being, right? It affects who you are. It affects even your circle, right? It affects not only you, but people experience it and they feel the vibration, the vibrancy, right? The radiation of you, and then you begin to inspire other people. And those people begin to look at you in a different light because you are seeing yourself and being in a different light. So you have to understand that this process of focus is a simple process, but a process that takes practice in the beginning. And then eventually it's just the way it is for you. It's just a way of life. But you must be mindful about your thoughts. You must control those thoughts, direct yourself to go in the direction of that which you desire. Don't let yourself be discouraged by what you don't have or what you're currently going through that isn't, satisfactory or in alignment with who you know yourself to be. Just continue to move forward knowing who yourself to be that, and then all that which you desire from that space, from that consciousness will materialize, it will manifest. Okay. And this is what I mean by affirming it. Walk into it with confidence, conviction, understand that, okay, this is a part of the journey, right? Sometimes you have to go through struggle, suffering in order for you to identify and tap into something powerful within you. And that's what this journey is about. So you take that, you reframe the problem, and you turn it into the solution, which is ultimately the desire of your consciousness. And that's how essentially you focus your mind, your body, your spirit toward creating that which is destined for you. Thank you so much. Feel free to go to drabundant.com, subscribe to my daily newsletter, and get access to this free ebook and more. Continue to join me on this journey. Peace and abundance always.